June 20th meeting of a Local Development Corporation. Can I first get a motion to approve the minutes of May 23rd? Supervisor Simpson, seconded by Supervisor Leggett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Sure. We'll do the May 2018 financial statements. We'll start out with the balance sheet, looking at the cash we have available. Total cash available to lend, $749,688. One of the other items I'll point out to you is under accounts receivable, that amount that you see there represents the invoicing to Warren County for the 2018 contract drawdowns. And the accounts payable, 4166, is the contract payment to EDC for 2018 contract drawdowns. Those are the items that I would draw your attention to on the balance sheet. Moving to the profit and loss budget versus actual for May, the one item that I'll point out to you is accounting, $500, and that represents costs associated with the 2017-990 information return that I'll be having you all approve a little bit later on. And then lastly, profit and loss budget versus actual January through May 2018. The one item I will turn your attention to is under income miscellaneous. That represents the income from the MAP Spring 2018. We just finished that class about 2 weeks ago. Otherwise, unless anyone has any questions, there's really nothing out of the ordinary. The typical drawdowns between the Warren County LDC and EDC.
Could I get a motion to review and approve the statements and the federal information? Supervisor Thomas, seconded by Supervisor Leggett. Any discussion at all? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I guess, looks like executive session, Ed, is that...
Actually, before you move into that, I do want to get approval and ratification of the 2017-990 Federal Information Return that was filed.
Okay. Can I get a motion to that effect? Supervisor Leggett, supervised by Supervisor Simpson. Any discussion?
Just to point out a couple of things, the information on here represents the same information that was included in the 2017 year-end audit, as well as some additional questions regarding the structure of the organization, and you can find some of that information under the offices, directors, and trustees under Part 7.
Supervisor Leggett has read the tax return. Did you have a question?
We're about $20,000, $19,000 some odd difference from last year on that. And that's
the majority of that had to do with, I don't know if you recall, that we increased the bad debt and we increased the allowance for doubtful accounts. So that's why there was a more significant difference than you've seen in the past on that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I then get a motion to approve the federal tax information. The motion by...
We did the motion, I think.
We did, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Ed?
Scott, I would ask for an executive session pertaining to...
Okay, I see Travis with his hand up.
Prior to going executive session, discuss, I guess, review of loan portfolio, I'd like the privilege of the floor to be had at this point rather than
Sure,
after that.
go ahead, Travis, have a ball.
I actually want to talk about the loan portfolio, so this might be of interest, and I'm guessing that you're not going to invite me to have a executive session. So, as you know, the loan portfolio at Lake Champlain has been the focus of the concerns. And there are loan funds outside of Lake Champlain, including the one you're going to be talking about now. All of these have roots in federal grants that went back in the mostly back to the 1980s and such. Recently, you may have read about something out of the town of Bolton that had one that nobody really knew about, and they were abusing it, and the state controller went ahead and called them on it just last month, and they agreed that they'd have to change a whole bunch of things. One of the loans that you'll be discussing now, perhaps, the last one that was done was to a restaurant. I'm not going to mention the name, But I had the opportunity to review that loan portfolio recently because it was a joint loan between Lake Champlain and Warren County. And it's interesting, as I've gone through a number of these things, that these grants, which came from HUD and other people like that for disadvantaged businesses, they have strict guidelines on where this money can go. And these guidelines are transferred into rules that these fellows have in putting these things forward. One of the rules, for instance, is that you have to be denied a bank loan in order to be eligible for one of these things. Well, it's interesting because I've gone through a number of these loan portfolios, and mostly I have been finding turn-down letters there. But mostly I've also been finding, I wouldn't say mostly, but it is not unusual to find that the same borrower is declaring a net worth in the millions of dollars. And such is the case here on the loan that was jointly done here. This fellow went ahead and said, I have a net worth of $2.8 million. You got to wonder why a loan was turned down, but the letter is there, and for other ones, and they say because the guy wasn't willing to put up enough collateral. Yet he's willing to put up enough collateral for this loan, but not for the bank loan. So it's a pretty easy hurdle to get over. You see what I mean? So the other thing in the loan portfolio for this group that you're going to be talking about shortly, there's a statement in there that they will not loan more than $15,000 per job created. And on this particular loan that they put together, there were 0 jobs created. The loan said to pay off another loan, to pay off other debt, and to make some minor improvements in the restaurant. 0 new jobs, okay? Yet they went ahead and approved it. And there's a series of letters between Ms. Switzer and Mr. Young about how this is going to all get approved. So what I'm suggesting here is that this problem that we've uncovered with Lake Champlain goes much deeper than just Lake Champlain, and we ought to be looking at the LDC, CDC, ABCDEFGs that are all over the place. A lot of that money, a lot of that problems comes from grants that are 30, 40 years old. And and there's a beautiful example. Just read the state controller's report. It came out last month. It was in the paper, but I doubt whether too many people read it, about just what Bolton did on a $4 million loan and grant that they're taking care of. So I'm just saying, that's all I'm going to say now, but this thing is much deeper, and we ought to be looking, you ought to be paying a lot of attention to what's going to be said in executive session. I'll also ask you right now, if I can attend, I will attend, but I expect you to say no. But I'm going to ask you to say no before I leave the room. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone care to respond, or we want to?
I think the executive loan does not pertain to the loan that Mr. Whitehead is referring to.
Okay.
But it might be a good question to ask.
Okay. Can we get a motion to go into executive session? Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Thompson. Great. We're now in executive session.
Are you asking me to leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. We are out of executive session. No action has been taken. Can I get a motion to adjourn our LDC meeting? Supervisor Thomas, seconded by Supervisor Leggett. We are adjourned.